So how I become a truck driver? Well, we'll have to go all the way back to 1982. I was 5 years old. Dad drove a truck. That's the first time he put me in a truck with him. And we didn't just go around the neighborhood. When he left, he was gone for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. I guess I decided to go with him. 5 years old. That's when I got my bug. So all through my childhood years, I always rode with my dad in the truck. And shoot, I went everywhere with him. Whole cab overs like this right here, rode on the doghouse and stuff. And there was times that I didn't even go to school. I don't even know how I even passed some of the grades that I was in school because I'd be out there on the road with him for week, 2 weeks. Things were different back then. Things were a whole lot different back then. But anyways, watched my dad do it. My grandpa drove a truck. Drove a coal truck. He owned a couple trucks back in the day. I was way back in the day. I was 50s and 40s. But anyways, yeah, all through my childhood years, I just kind of rode with my dad. So we'll just bump it up to the 1990s. Well, 1990s, I've been around trucks all my life, but the later 1990s was February 17th of 1997. I went to truck driver school. You see, I had to go to truck driver school in the 90s, and right there was it 1992. They stopped the grandfathering in. So when they stopped that grandfathering in, they got hard on everybody. Had to have a commercial license after that. You couldn't get grandfathered in no more. So they were kind of hard on regulations and rules back then. It was hard to even get on anywhere if you didn't have no experience. If you didn't have no experience, just go out and get your CDL license and try to go out and get a job. Hey, you can work for a farmer or something like that. But I don't know, for some reason I had an itch to go on the road. So anyways, I went and tried to get my license. There's a few times that, I wanted to go through a school because schooling was so expensive back then that I wanted to go through a company where they place you. So I ended up going to a company, and I'm going to tell you the company, and y'all going to laugh at me, but it don't matter because it's where I'm at now. It's not where I was then. So I started out CRST in 1997, February. And I went to their school, and they said they'd pay for the schooling and all that if I lasted there a year. So I went there, and I did my schooling, and lo and behold, what they put us in, and I don't know if any of y'all know about CRST, but back then, I don't know if they still do or not. They're a shit company. I mean, whatever. But we ran teams in a cab over, international cab over, ran teams in it. Ran that thing for 6 months with a stranger. Guy I didn't even know. We were both learning. We were learning off each other. At the time, I hated it. I thought this is bullshit. I don't want to run with someone else. But now that I think back, I'm glad I went through that experience because I learned off of him and he learned off of me, and we had a good time. It was a good time trucking back in the 90s. But anyways, I actually had a hard time getting on back in the 90s because I was an adolescent child. I was wild. I did crazy, stupid shit. So I had kind of a little record. And like I say, in the 90s, 92, they grandfathered and everyone had a CDL. So they were being hard on everybody. You weren't just going out and getting a job, truck driving job. Back then, truck driving was still a prestige job. It was still, people looked up to you back then in the 90s. And so you weren't just going to go out and fill out an application, you have a job the next day. Maybe some of you all did. I didn't experience that in the 90s. You had to be on top of your game back in the 90s. So anyway, I went truck driving school. I lasted there 8 months. I said, fuck this. And I ain't running teams no more. So I went somewhere else. And that's how trucking is. You just kind of bounce. You'll bounce. I don't know. You go somewhere, I'm going to retire here. Good luck to you. Because they're all fucking liars. Almost every single one of them you go to work for, they're going to tell you what you want to hear when you first go. And then after that, they're going to lie to you. Okay. That's been my experience. But anyways, so I made it through the 90s, kept trucking. In the early 2000s, I became an owner-operator. Well, I didn't become an owner-operator then. My dad went and bought a truck. We were both kind of operating a truck, so we were both doing it. My name was on the side of the truck. So anyways, I got in a truck with him in 2000. He worked at Arkansas Freightway. I don't know if you all remember that, but they turned into American Freightway, and then they turned into FedEx. And he was on the road for 20 years, and he got off the road and came to FedEx or American Freightways Arkansas Freightways, whatever you want to call him. He worked there for 16 years. Well, I came back. I was on the road at that time, and he watched me out on the road, and he was missing the road, so he went and bought a truck. So we both got in the truck together. So we both ran the truck. He's like, if I go buy a truck, I quit here. I'm tired of running this LTL shit. I want to go back on the road. I see you out there, you know. And I already been on the road for 3 years then. So that what gave him the bug to want to go on back out on the road. And I think I was 21. I was 24 then because I was already been driving for 3 years. So he went and bought a truck. And we got in the truck together and we went and ran it. We ran coast to coast. We lived in that thing. We didn't come home. We stayed out for 3 months, 4 months at a time. Yeah, that old man wore the dog piss out of me. I was 24 years old, and he didn't skip a beat. He jumped right back in that seat out there in the open road from being running LTL every night. Of course, he was running LTL, so he was gone, but he got back in that seat, and he wore my ass out. He wore my fucking ass out. That lasted about good, I don't know, 6 months to a year. We're running teams together, and I had to get out of the truck. I was like, I am done. I'm done. He was wearing me out. Here, this old man, he wasn't old. He's my age. He was my age now that I am back then. So I got out of the truck and got my own truck. And about 4 months later, my old man died in the truck. And but anyway, I just kept on rolling, man. You just keep on going. If you love what you do, you keep on going. So here I am today. We're moving on up. You know, I always ran flatbed. I mean, dry van. And about 12 years ago, I decided to go be an owner operator. I kind of always did the company thing and tried to go do the owner operator thing. And so it's kind of like here I am. It's persistence. It's you got to love this lifestyle because anymore back then, back in the day, it was fun out here. It was absolutely. We had a good time in the 90s. You know, from 97 up to 2000 and I don't know, maybe 10, 12. I mean, I'm going to give it 10, 12. It probably earlier than that, but we had a good time out here. Now you just got to want to be out here. You just got to want it. It gets in your blood. That term they say, it gets in your blood. That's a true statement. It gets in your blood and you can't get away from it no matter how hard you try. So I know a lot of you all probably came up the same way with your dads and your grandpas and did the same thing and now here you are. That's just how it happens, you know. Reason it ain't fun no more because, like I said, it used to be a prestige job. Everyone looked up to you. You were the heroes of the highway, and now it's just a job for anybody. I mean, they'll just go hire anybody. Susie from the flower shop that worked there 30 years decided she wanted to be a truck driver. Now she's out here. Well, not this. She's putting in drive and automatics rent this industry because it made truck drivers, non-drivers, truck drivers. I mean, it just really did. I mean, so. Well, y'all have a good one. I just want to kind of tell you how I got started. It all started as a little kid. As a little kid. And a lot of y'all look at this as a job to make money. There's other guys out here like me and look at this. This is your life. Feel it right here every day. So, y'all peace out. You have a good one. Hope you follow me. Hope this wasn't too long. Try to get you some more bells and whistles going on. Peace.